Could you move that mic just a little bit closer to you? In the middle? And if you're gonna talk, if you could get a little bit closer, just so it picks up on the mic. Thank you. You're not gonna talk? Okay. Then you can move that between you two. There you go. Thank you. So, I'm ready.
All right. Mr. Wooten, can you just say and spell out your first and last name and give us your title?
Jermaine Wooten, Jermaine, Wooten, Wooten, attorney.
Excellent.
And I'm Stephanie Boyd, STEPHANIE BRYD, and Bryanna's mother.
Excellent. And give us Bryanna's full name and spelling.
Bryanna Johnson. Bryanna BRYANNA. Dentman DENTMAN hyphen JOHNSON.
Ms. Boyd, you can look at me, pretend like this camera is not even here.
Okay.
It's been 3 days, and your life has really changed forever. Kind of walk me through the moment, Sunday morning, when you got that call.
I don't know, I was asleep for one. But before she left, she asked me, can she go out with her friends or whatever, and I let her. I told her no at first, and then I seen that she was upset, like I said, and I let her go, and then that was it. But I got the call about 3:00 a.m. and so I don't know. Her friend father called me and told me that my daughter had passed away. She was in a bad car accident, and she had passed away. So I got up there to the scene and whatever, and I don't know. I just couldn't find her at first, you know. So I don't know. I don't know.
And when you first get that call, because I think I've been in accidents, for example, and I'm the only child, so I know. And how many other siblings does Bryanna have? Do you know?
It was 11 of them all together on my side and her father's side, so all together, with her included.
But regardless, whenever you get a call about a child,
devastating. Like, you don't no parent want to get that type of call about their child. Like, you know, that your child is gone. Like, it's just an empty feeling. Like, you don't know. Like, you know, like, you never know. Once they go out, you don't know what's gonna happen to them. You know, just hoping and praying that they come back safely. You know, so don't know mother or father will want to get that call saying that your child is gone.
When you got to the scene, kind of, where was your head then? Because you had to identify her first. You had to find her. You said.
No, when I got to the scene, I was looking for her. Like, because at first I went to the SLU hospital, and they said they didn't have her, and I was just like, well, where is she? Because I was like going off on a security guard, like, where's my child? So they said they didn't have her. Then I went to the police scene, the crime scene or whatever, and they was acting nonchalant. Like, they didn't want to tell me no information. Like, didn't want to let me across the inside the scene so I can see if my child was down there or whatever. I don't know. Carl Barnes, they said they didn't have her, so nobody knew where she was at.
Let's kind of move into the type of person Bryanna was, because we've read a lot. Her school put out a beautiful statement about her being into fashion and getting ready to walk across the stage.
Right.
Very successful young woman. It seems like she had a very good head on her shoulder, just ready to take on the world. And that seems like a similar story that we've been getting from all of the young people that were in that vehicle that night. Can you kind of speak to that?
Yes, Bryanna was, she loved school, you know, and she was excited to graduate, prom, very excited about prom, and she was just happy that she was finna get ready and graduate, and she only needed 1.5 credits to walk across the stage, and then this happened. But at the same time, like, she was just excited. She was on her way. Like, she had plans, for her next birthday, all that. Just had plans. For college, she didn't want to start the semester that was coming. She was gonna start the next semester. Had already talked to me about all this. I don't know.
You talked a little bit about that hesitancy before you decided to let her go. Why was that?
Because it was too late. So I told her, like, normally, like, they'll leave earlier than the time that she was actually trying to leave. And when she asked me, it was around 10 something. And I said, she came in there and was like, "Ma, you think it's too late to leave?" And I said, "Yeah, Bryanna, you need to stay home, whatever. No, y'all always trying to leave out at this time of night, She said, "Well, it's Saturday." I said, "You right, but no, you need to stay home." And then she went in the room and left my door open. And then I called her back in there, and I noticed that she was upset. And then I said, "Well, you know what? You could just go on here and go, but this the last time that y'all gonna leave at this time." And she said, "Yes, ma'am." And that was it. That was it.
It seems like our parents are having to step into more of a enforcement role, even for good kids, right, these days, because of the things that are happening in every setting. It doesn't matter where you are, church, school. Like, our parents are just having to be a little bit more vigilant. And really and truly, like, specifically in the last couple of weeks here in St. Louis, we've seen a lot of what's happening in our streets and road safety. What do you think about the idea that this person swerved around another vehicle, ran a red light, and then here your daughter is one of the deceased victims?
It's devastating to even know that my daughter was one of the ones that was killed in that car crash. And at the end of the day, like, I hope they catch him and like, why? I just, all I want, why did you do it? What was going on? Like, I don't know. Like, what to think? I don't know.
Do you have a message for uncontrollable driving and drivers?
Just stop and wait at the red light. Wait your turn. Don't be in a rush, because you never know what's coming down the next street that you're trying to rush into, or a pedestrian or whatever could be coming. You never know what could be coming. Just slow down and stop. Like,
Mr. Wooten, I kind of want to move to you. What are some of the things that we're exploring here? Because obviously, this family is going to have to, one, grieve, and then they have to think about going on, supporting, Bryanna, her funeral arrangements, all of those things. This is going to be a big financial burden on this family, clearly.
Absolutely.
What are some of the things that we're looking at right now from a legal standpoint?
From the legal standpoint, I think we want to start with the police department. This family has gotten no information from the police department to kind of find out where they are with the investigation. We can only guess where they are. Quite naturally, I'm sure they've already taken fingerprints of the 2004 Impala, so I assume they would have gotten some prints, and they're trying to ID who the person is. But I guess in the course of that investigation, this family has been clueless and left completely out, so they don't have any information. Even going to the scene on the night of the incident, the family got something close to no information from the police department, when the police department should have been attempting to render aid that night. It was more of a criminal investigation, and it just really insulted this mom who was out there mom and dad who was out there trying to get answers, trying to find out exactly where their daughter was, what's the status of their daughter, and other parents who were out there. So it's very concerning. And I guess taking it a step further, when we look at this intersection, just doing basic research, we can find dozens upon dozens of accidents that occurred at this intersection. Just in the last 24 months, we're talking more than 100 accidents that took place at this intersection. While we can applaud the efforts of the Mayor Jones in signing a Safe Streets bill today, I think it's going to be signed sometime this afternoon, if that effort had been done months ago, because I think the city would have been on notice. I think this tragedy could have been avoided, and I'm not really shifting the blame on St. Louis City. I know MoDOT actually owns that particular intersection, and it's MoDOT's responsibility. So I think if that guardrail had been better guarded, meaning the barrier had been taller and with proper strength, I don't think we have this tragedy here. This family wouldn't be sitting here. It may have been an accident quite naturally, but I don't think we have any, the accident raising to the level of casualty.
Yeah. So then you obviously have to address MoDOT and gather studies from them. We looked at, you know, the St. Louis police data, finding that more than 100 accidents had been in that intersection within the last 2 years. So kind of what are your next steps? Is it just to kind of request those documents and then wait?
We're going to request the documents, get a structural engineer to take a look at the scene, and based on the reports, then we're going to take legal action at that stage.
I want to switch back to you. What does this look like, you know, financially for you all going forward? I know that there's been a GoFundMe set up.
Mm-hmm.
You want to share some information about that?
Yeah, it's the GoFundMe set up, but on the aspect, it's the burden. Like, it's the burden, literally. You know, we doing what we can or whatever, but we gonna get it done. You know, cause she gonna get buried the way she needs to get buried in all the above, and go out in the style that I know that she's supposed to go out in. I don't know.
Did you know a lot about the other young people that were involved in the accident as well? Were you familiar with Bryanna's friends?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say the same thing that Miss McKinley said yesterday? You know, these were all good kids. If you check their records, none of them had criminal records.
Right.
They were all either recently graduated, you know.
Yes. Yeah, they all was either finna graduate or already have graduated. But like I said, they just teenagers. They go out, they want to have fun and do what they do as teenagers. You know, that's what they do. But they're not going out to, I'm finna go find a way to go kill myself or this. And they didn't see that coming. Like, you know what I'm saying? They just was out just trying to have fun and going home, wanting to make it back home. Like,
Is there anything else that you'd like to add? So what do you think about the support that's already starting to reel in for Bryanna? And
I appreciate all of that. Like, whoever, like, I really appreciate it. Anything that anybody is doing, you know, I just really thank y'all for real. So.
You like to add anything?
We're going to certainly try to schedule a meeting with the police department today. I've placed 2 calls with the police department, so we're hopeful that we can sit down with the police department sometime in the latter part of today and get some more information where the police department is with their investigation, so this family can get some level of answers so they can go ahead and move forward.
Yeah, and lastly, one more question for you, because you see tons of these situations, right?
Certainly.
In this case, we have 8 different families that are impacted, those that are still living and then the 4 that are deceased. But does this shine a light on a larger issue here in the city of St. Louis?
I think we have a huge issue as it relates to traffic safety. I think in an environment we're in, everyone, it's such an instantaneous environment. No one really wants to stop at lights. No one wants to stop at the stop signs. Everyone wants to kind of bypass that, especially our young people. And I don't think they can really appreciate life and the level of risk they put people at when they run these lights. So I think we really have to go ahead and take a step back and address our young people and people who just do these serious traffic violations because they put all of our lives at risk. And what happened, this young man ran that particular light and just caused death to 4 good kids and serious injuries to another 4 good kids here, and putting a family like this in this particular situation where they should have been planning a graduation. Instead, they have to funeralize their daughter. I mean, a good daughter who had a perfect future in front of her. We're talking about a very independent child, God-fearing child, a child who did all the right things in life that was making this mom and this dad extraordinarily proud, and her life was cut short for no conscionable reason that we can think of.
Well, thank you all so much for sitting down with us today. Again, our condolences, and we'll be sure to make sure that we broadcast and put on our web script the link for your GoFundMe, so that we can show our support in that way. And you know, if there's any type of way that we can help moving forward in this conversation about addressing our young people, I definitely want to keep your contact handy, because we want to pull from the community, because that's where the concern is coming from, you all, in these types of situations.
Yep. I just wanted to say, I just want to speak on the driver, like drivers out there, period, just be mindful, you know what I'm saying, while you driving, because at the end of the day, it could be your child, you know, and if you would know how I feel or whatever, you know, any mother feel or father feel, you know, to lose a loved one, and especially your child, you know, so, so,
Thank you. Thank you so much for being brave and sharing your story. I know it's tough.
Can I get a quick shot of you? Do you mind? Okay. You don't have to smile or laugh. I just wanted to make sure it was okay.